That was a good time.
We'll call the March 18, 2019 City Council meeting to order. Call of the roll.
John Hawkins,
Here.
Matt McKinney,
Here.
Brian Miller,
Here.
Jim Talbot,
Here.
Logan Welch.
Here.
Call for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item A, petitions, communications and requests. This is the time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in cases of emergency, the City Council will not take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Anyone have anything? Anyone here have anything? Think of anything this week?
We will be having a farmers market meeting for all the vendors. I'll be contacting that out and letting the newspaper and Pat know here soon. It's coming soon.
Okay. B, minutes and claims. The following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, it will be considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. We have item 1, minutes of March 4th. Item 2 is a resolution on payroll for the period ending March 2nd and paid on March 8th. 3 is a resolution on bills and a fund list. How would you like to?
I move to approve 1, 2, and 3 collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. C, general agenda. Item 1 is a recommend approval of issuance of beer and liquor licences by the Iowa Department of Commerce for the following. A, special Class C liquor licence, special event licence, 5-day to be held 4/25/19, Hy-Vee Webster City Healthy Cooking Class at 823 2nd Street. And B is a renewal of a Class C native wine permit, outdoor service and Sunday sales for Morning Glory Coffee at 719 Des Moines Street. Call for motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 2 is appointment of Cody Sizer to the Youth Advisory Commission for the term ending 5/31/2019.
Can we,
Did you want to change it?
yeah, to the term ending 5/31 of 2020, because he is a 7th grader, not an 8th grader.
Yeah.
I didn't,
Okay,
miscommunication.
all right, so
So-
5/31/2020.
Yeah, Cody approached me shortly after he sat in a city council meeting for a badge he's working on for Boy Scouts. I know Cody and his family through the Cub Scout organization, and he's an eager young man, wanted to get involved in the community, so I pointed out the absence of a middle schooler on our Youth Advisory Commission, so he jumped at the opportunity, so I think he'd be a good fit.
Good. Well, needed filling, so it's good to have a good fit for it.
I move to approve, Cody.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Item 3 is a council memorandum resolution establishing a nuisance at 411 Prospect Street and ordering the abatement thereof. I guess you boys are here again tonight. Do you want to come up and tell us where you're at with it?
Well, since last time we were here, we've got financing finally. Be about another 3 weeks or so for that's secured all the way. Other than that, we started doing some of the barricading up the windows, working on the back wall. Elise has stopped in and checked in on that. Anything else? Yeah, other than that, Yeah, so as soon as I have the money in the account, all the materials I've got figured, they're just on standby until I get them ordered with the, once the funds are there. And then most of that stuff's gonna take, late enough in the year like it is, 4 to 6 weeks before I can even get the materials in. So rafters are gonna be about 6 weeks out, doors, windows, 3-4 weeks on those. So I don't know the 6 week time or the 6 month time frame you guys were kinda shooting for. I need a little bit more time than that with waiting for the finances and all that to get in, and then wait for materials to be delivered for the most part. So,
What's your anticipated timeline?
well, from what I understand is as long as within 180 days of securing the permit's good for 2 years.
Are you saying you're wanting 2 years?
Yeah. The permit's good for that long.
Yeah, I think the more immediate concern is the fact the building's been this way for a while, and I think they want it shored up. Backing up a second, we'll get to the timeline in a second here too, but you say you have financing secured.
Yes.
Roughly how much are you estimating these repairs to cost?
For the majority of it, we're sitting, I think it's somewhere around with material, I think it's like 15 or 18,000.
And that's the amount you have secured?
I have more than that secured, but yeah, I have other stuff we're gonna do too.
And the material might take a few weeks to get in after you actually order it, or have the financing to order it. Are you wanting the 2 years because of just time restraints getting to it, or is it actually gonna take that long to do it?
More or less the time frame on it, get materials. I mean, we're gonna be a couple months out between when the financing hits the account to when I get materials actually on the job site. I mean, there's 2 months right there ate up.
That, and we don't project it to actually take 2 years, but just we're paying for something that's good for that long, just we have that time if something did come up, but it shouldn't take 2 years by any means.
Okay.
That would be something, something like that would be an entirely unforeseen, like both of us want up in the hospital kind of deal. Something just way out there.
Is this gonna be your place of business then? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Well, I guess you've made effort on that to get stuff done, and I think the thing I have to do as an individual is, one, compliment you're making progress, because it's been like that, 20 years or something like
Yeah,
that forever.
maybe
So you're trying to get it done, but I guess, I would still rely on Elise and keep us informed if it's being done on a normal basis. I think we can, my opinion is, let's just let it start working and see what happens, because if we don't do anything, nothing's gonna happen, and we're gonna have the same mess we had
Correct.
before you got the citation, so. But I guess I would defer to Elise's input to the council on that, but I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Elise, but, you're more familiar with that than us, because you work with it.
Right, and like we talked about at the last meeting, we're all about getting everything we need to do on our end taken care of, and more than happy to keep up with Elise, and that way you guys are informed too as to what's going on. Keep all our bases covered and keep in contact with you guys, what progress is being made and how we're moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put her on the spot, but I say, at least we're making progress, that's
Right.
one thing, and might as well take advantage of progress.
Yep, and what we're doing anyways, we'd have to be in contact with her regardless, so.
I still don't see why you'd need more than 6 months to get the job done though, because if you're 2 months before your finances come and it takes 2 months to get the equipment in, you'd think you'd have a roof on it in another 2 months.
Yeah, we also still have work we have to do outside of that project, because that's what's killing me is I can't devote, 3-4 weeks to just go jam on that and ignore paying jobs.
Understandable, but also we can't sort of say, well, we'll give you 2 years when we're making everybody else in town stick to the normal schedules. So even if we put it out to 9 months, it's not a long way from 2 years.
Yeah.
So I think 2 years is excessive by a long shot, but, like you say, a permit's good for that long, but I guess we'd want to see a lot of work done, if it was gonna be, if you haven't got the windows in 2 years, I guess, if it takes 2 years to get the windows in, that's one thing, but the roof, without it getting done, we haven't really got anything, so.
Refresh my memory, 2 meetings ago, your initial request was for what? To extend the amount of time given to,
We were originally shooting for a year. That way, if we didn't get financing, we could buy the material over that, 6, 8 months.
yeah, that's what I recall, and that's why it's kinda hard for me to hear 2 years tonight, The original request was a year, we deferred it so you can shore up financing, and now it's 2. I agree with the mayor, I think 2 years is a bit excessive. I totally understand, though, you guys have paying jobs you have to get to, I totally understand that. However, this is a concern brought to us, obviously to the city inspector as well, if it hits our desk, so. I don't have any more further questions for the Hubbard brothers, but I would like to ask Elise a couple, if you have no further ones.
Anyone have any more questions? No.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
boys, yeah, we'll bring, Elise, if you wanna come up, please.
Addie?
Hi.
So the question I have is, what was the timeline given to make the repairs when the initial letter was sent?
So when the initial letter is sent, we always give out 30 days, or you can request to come before the council. And when they responded, they requested for a much further time than I am allowed by, city ordinance to give out, so.
Okay.
So is there any, it's obviously coming as an unsafe building. Is there
Yes.
any threat to surrounding structures, any?
It's not a threat so much to surrounding structures, however, it does create one of those attractive nuisances. It's an open building. There are kids throughout the whole neighborhood that like to go places maybe they probably shouldn't. So unfortunately, it does create an attractive nuisance.
At this point, I'm glad to hear you've at least, I guess, started the path of securing financing. It sounds like there's not been anything signed yet, but, at this point, I think I would probably shoot for 6 months,
I guess I would tend to agree. What I would suggest is that we shoot for 6 months initially, and if there's progress shown, even though if there's no completion, maybe we've got walls, maybe there's a roof, maybe there's pieces done and it's showing progress. I think the concern that I would have is just we've had some experience in the past where things drug out and work didn't get done, and then we're sitting at 9 months or a year with back to square one, so.
I'd be open to entertain that, for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, Matt. I think the thing is that we've had situations where people want to do, or say they're gonna do something, they don't do anything, at least they're making a concerted effort. That's why I would defer to Elise, if we do the
Right.
6 months and then review it, in progress review, and see where we're making progress, because you'd have the opportunity to look at it as time goes on. And, so
Yeah.
that'd be, I agree
We'd
with
still
what
have
you're
the
saying,
option
Matt.
of extending it at that point. If in 6 months there's work that's been done, but there's still more to do, we could still revisit it, give them an additional 6 months, whatever we think at that time.
Because at least we're trying to get something done, and they're
Right.
trying to get something done.
Yeah.
That's progress, I guess, as I look at it.
I don't wanna see it be a business, I wanna see you in it, so, I'm the same. If we see progress, I'm more than willing to extend time.
You wanna
So
move to,
would the motion be, allowing the Hubbards to have 6 months to complete the repairs, where we would then we reassess the situation and, see if more time's needed, or if they haven't made enough progress to warrant an extension?
Zach, what's the what's the problem with that, I guess, is what I'm thinking is if it's 6 months and we say that we're gonna revisit it, then we don't really get anywhere with it, do we?
Right, then you're setting it another 30 days. If you've set it for 6 months and nothing's done, and you want to enforce a nuisance at that point, then you have to give an additional 30 days to.
So should we set it for 5 months?
I
But
still
I
think I'm
think,
comfortable with,
what we're looking at, though, is if they're making progress, I'm
Right.
not arguing with you, Council, I'm just
I'm saying
saying.
if you set it for, if you put it on the first meeting in September, 6 months, well, 5.5 months from now, if you put it on that agenda, the same language, it's establishing a nuisance within 30 days, then you're at 6 months. That point, in 5 months, you're gonna be able to tell if there's things getting, 5.5 months, you'll be able to tell pretty easily if things are getting done or not. And if they're not, then you establish it at that point for 6 months, or for 30 days past then, and then you would be you'd be over 6 months, you'd be at 6.5 months, actually.
Yeah, I think that's what, I would rather give them a full 6 months if we have to go the 30-day notice at that point. That gives 7 months essentially to be showing progress.
Is that something that the city can manage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar to what we've done with Park Hill, and
Sure.
he's performed, so.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
making progress too.
Oh, yes, he's
Yeah.
done great.
And that's why I'm saying, I think you're the arbiter. You know more what's going on with it than we do.
Okay, so you wanna make a
6
motion?
months?
6 months, and
So a resolution establishing a nuisance at 411 Prospect Street and ordering the abatement thereof within 6 months of today's
Today's
date.
date, yeah.
7, okay.
And
Let me
I
ask,
might
is that
maybe add
something you guys are
in-progress
comfortable
reviews
with?
So we have an idea what's going on.
One question I might wanna bring up is.
Go ahead and come back up to the podium if you would, please.
thanks, Elise.
So for that 6 month, will that start from today, or is that gonna factor in the small time frame it's gonna take for us to actually get things to start on the project?
No, that starts from today.
Today.
Go.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that way that was clear for us.
I mean, I hope it feels like we all want you to succeed and we want to see progress.
Right.
So if you come back with progress, I don't think you'll have issue getting a little more time, but.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I just wanted to clear that up now so we knew that we're not like, oh, well, we're waiting for stuff now. We're
Right.
just burning time.
Right.
Kind of thing, just for the big stuff, you know?
Yep.
But, okay, thank you.
You bet.
So you've got,
Yep.
what you need, we got a second?
Within 6 months from the date of this meeting,
So moved,
3/18.
or did somebody
Yep.
second?
Logan, so you just need a second. Just
Second.
Logan, put up the,
I motioned it, right?
yep,
Okay.
you motion.
I'll second.
So all those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 4 is a resolution setting time and place for a public hearing on a proposed purchase agreement for city-owned property located in Brewer Creek Estates, 5th and 6th editions of Webster City, Iowa, for April 1st at 5:35 PM. Zach, did you want to say anything on that, or?
Yeah, this is just setting the public hearing. There's a developer that's interested in purchasing a number of lots in Brewer Creek 5 and 6 and has asked that this be set for public hearing, which would be done on April 1st.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 4 is a second reading of a proposed ordinance, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 1996 by amending Chapter 55, Title 2, Community Protection, General Provisions. You might as well talk on this one.
Okay, so this is the second reading on 55 and 141, which is establishing a nuisances in town. More specifically, though, we're concerned about junk and junk vehicles. They both, 55 and 141, both talked about junk vehicles in the past, and they weren't completely in line with each other. So instead, I've requested that we repeal 141 completely and just integrate the language we liked in 141 into 55, to have it a more concise nuisance. So there's one place mainly for Elise to handle her job, and easier, and for the court system to be one place to go and look to see what a junk vehicle is. That's what it is.
Just for the record, this is item 5.
Yeah, this is on 5. I got a blue 4 there.
I know.
Okay, so call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 6 is a second reading of a proposed ordinance, an ordinance repealing the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 1996 by repealing Chapter 141 pertaining to junk and junk vehicles. This is
The other half.
Yep.
the repeal of the same thing, so.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 7 is the first reading of a proposed ordinance, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, the City of Webster City, Iowa, 1996, by amending Chapter 99 pertaining to sewer rental.
Let me take this one.
You might as well.
Okay, so I'll talk about 7 and 8 together. What most of these have is chapter 99 and then chapter 101. Chapter 99 we've already had on the books, and it addresses those that violate any wastewater treatment agreements are subject to fines if they go over their limits that they're allowed. And so 99 has been on the books, and we amended it last year to raise those rates to make it more of a deterrent, I guess. And at that time, we also, when the previous city manager, Daniel, was here, he included some of the language from 101 into 99 and tried to incorporate it into one. And it hasn't been something that I've been overly thrilled about. And then speaking with our engineer as well, we agree that we think we need a totally separate chapter 101 that addresses just the enforcement side. So 99 would be the penalty side, 101 would be, okay, if you are penalized and you still aren't correcting your issues, then 101 kicks in, and that's more of the violators could have their treatment agreement revoked, could be shut off from our plant and stuff like that. So it's more protects the city so that we don't have habitual violators. So amending 99 to take out that language, and then 101 is a completely clean-cut enforcement ordinance. So that's what those cover.
Would that have the provision in there that, you know, if they continue to violate it and you would block them from that, the city could suspend the water service then also?
Yep, it allows us to essentially do anything as possible and as quick as possible to get them shut off from.
Okay, yeah, I know, you mentioned the sewer, but I wanted to make sure the water was there too, because, okay. All right, sounds good to me.
All right, move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 8 is the first reading of a proposed ordinance, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster, Iowa, 1996, by adding Chapter 101 pertaining to industrial sewer use, user compliance enforcement. So it's the second half of the thing, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 9 is a resolution authorising the mayor and the city clerk to enter into a standard professional services agreement with Callahan Municipal Consultants, LLC, Anamosa, Iowa, for services in connection with the city manager recruitment process. So, did you want to talk about it?
Beth's here to answer any questions you might have.
Beth is
too.
there. Come up, Beth. See.
I've spoken to Pat a couple times over the last few weeks, and he is already starting to get going on the process. So, and I spoke to y'all about the first meeting, April 8th, which will be kind of a game plan meeting, and then he'll circle back and have individual meetings with all council and staff after that. So I don't know if there's any questions on anything in the contract.
So when do we, what date are we looking at maybe having a city manager by then? according to his-
July, sometime in July is the
Okay.
proposed date.
Right. That's just for these fellas, they might want to know that, so,
That's the goal,
Okay.
anyway.
yeah, all right. Anyone have any questions for Beth?
No, I think we've vetted the contracts, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 10 is a council memorandum, motion on request from Administrative Services Director in connection with City Hall remodelling.
Just stay put then.
Yeah.
We, as you've noticed, we've started the remodeling project. We're removing the paneling, painting. We're going to be revising the front entrance of the city manager's office so it looks similar to the counter at the utility office. And we'd like to do new carpet as well, since we've got everything torn up. The carpet was budgeted for in 21-22 fiscal year. We had 50,000 budgeted this year for remodeling. We've used 25 on the door security issues, so we have 25 left. Had 22 budgeted next fiscal year to continue the remodeling, and then 29 the next fiscal year for the carpet. So we will withdraw that 29. We'll no longer need that, but we would like access to the 22 ahead of 7/1 so that we can just keep going and hopefully get this done by the end of May, first part of June. So all the major stuff is done prior to the candidates coming in.
I think it sounds reasonable.
Sounds
You're just
good.
moving up the expense.
And then the carpet, we got a bid from Interior Spaces and Gilbert's, and was a bit of a difference between that. Kevin got a really good price on the carpet, so we're asking to accept that bid and move forward there.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 11 is a motion on request from the police chief to enter into a 3-year lease agreement with Ruan Car Leasing and Carl Chevrolet for 3 fully equipped 2019 Chevrolet Tahoe police pursuit vehicles and installation of police equipment from the state of Iowa bid. Anybody need anything from the chief on it at all? I mean, it's fairly straightforward, but
They're trading in the old ones.
yes. Trading in 3 and getting 3 more.
Chief, I do have the one question. I want to make sure, because our department's had some issues with vehicles been out of service for a period of time. So with the lease program, if we have a mechanical issue, we will get it taken care of.
Correct.
That's the concern I had.
The lease process seems to be the best fit for the issues we've experienced.
Yeah.
Essentially, every 3 years, we replace half our fleet. So warranty, mileage, all that stuff will be cut down under the lease.
But at least if one goes down, I mean, then they will get us a replacement or
Correct.
get it fixed like today.
Correct.
Okay, better than what we've been doing. That sounds great.
lot better.
Yeah, okay, sounds great. Thank you. That's what I wanted to make sure of.
Anyone else have anything for the chief?
No.
Thank you. Okay, call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 12 is a resolution amending the master bond resolution. Doty, it's yours.
This is just a formality, and it's basically an accounting
Yeah.
process.
And then you might as well stay for the next one. So.
Well, I'm gonna pass it on.
Oh, yeah, oh, okay. All right, well, we'll just, anyone have any questions? You don't need any questions on that one, so we'll call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 13 is a resolution authorising and approving an indenture of trust providing for the issuance of revenue bonds, a bond purchase agreement providing for the sale of the bonds, and other documents related to the bonds. So Paul Donna's here to talk to us on that. So.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. At a previous meeting, you authorized us to move forward with a refinancing of your electric revenue bonds that were issued back in 2012. The sale for that bond issue took place this morning. I'll go through those results. Before I do that, there are a number of activities that took place in relation to the issuance of the bonds that we need to walk through. First off, the credit rating for the city. You have a credit rating on your general obligation debt, but also on your electric revenue debt. And that the Standard & Poor's Corporation provides that independent rating of the credit for the electric utility. And the A- that you had in the past was affirmed at an A-. So that process took place. We received word last week. I want to thank staff, Kent and Doty, for all their help in pulling together all the material for the rating agency to provide their review and opinion. So that's good news. That certainly helps with the sale of the bonds. We were expecting that, but certainly had to go through that process to get that affirmation. So that was affirmed. That full rating report is available for your review, but it's also provided to Doty as well. So that took place last week. And then this morning, like I said, we went out for the pricing on the bonds, and it was a very successful sale. In fact, there was very good participation by some of the local institutions here. Webster City Financial, the bank, participated and bought a good number of the bonds, as did an insurance company that I'm not familiar with, but apparently the insurance company insures a number of the churches in town. And so they needed that, they wanted to participate and provide that in their portfolio, so that they participated, as well as other institutions throughout the state, throughout the Midwest, and even nationally, bought some of those bonds. And so the results, the bonds that we refinanced were outstanding at a 5.62%. With today's results, that brings the interest rate down to 3.83%, and it produces savings of just shy of $1 million in total cash flow. It's $999,000. It's about $55,500 annually on the remaining debt service of the bond issue. So we did exceed the expectations that we put forth a few weeks back. It's simply, it's simply because the market has maintained, and also the rating certainly helped, and good participation by the local community also helps as well. So I'll answer any questions that you've got. Essentially, the motion that approves the documentation for the issuance of the bonds, all prepared by Dorsey & Whitney as your bond attorneys, as well as the bond purchase contract that we provide and Dorsey reviews and approved as well. So I'll answer any questions that you've got.
Who was the broker and how much of the bonds have been sold, what percentage?
Our company was responsible for underwriting the bonds. There remains just a small amount of bonds still in inventory, so to speak, but not very many. Maybe less than a couple 100,000, I believe. So.
Good, thank
Good
you, Paul.
news.
Good news. Well worth the exercise. So we call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Where are we at? 14. Motion on extension, item 14 is motion on extension agreement between the City of Webster City, Iowa and Williams and Company PC for auditing services. So, yes, it's fairly straightforward, isn't it, Daddy? So, I don't know if anyone has any questions for it, but a bit hard to go forward without them. Call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item 15 is to discuss city council meeting times. Brian, maybe Matt even, having trouble getting here for the 5:30, so just, if we discuss whether we could change the times.
Yeah, I mean, since I got on the council, my job's changed, so me getting back at 6 would be worst case scenario. 6:30 would be great, so.
I guess input from what anybody thinks, but part of the problem, I guess, moving to 6:30 is, most of the people that are here even tonight is city staff, of course, but so you almost got to go home and come back again, I guess, is part of the problem.
Well, I could see moving it to 6 right now and see what happens, because we don't want any inconvenience staff to have to go home and come back, so. I mean, that could be a compromise and see.
Yeah,
where we
6
go
would help
from
me a
there.
ton. I'd be here right on time, barring any weather. So.
Well, at least then, I suppose, if you're a few minutes late, it's not such a big deal.
Yeah,
but
yep.
It would definitely
Bad
would
weather's
help
over
you.
the rest of the year, so.
Right.
Yeah, there's no more bad weather this
Yeah.
year,
Yep, traffic sometimes,
I remember, one of the first things Matt, John, and I did on the council was change the time, right? We did it again.
Because it was 7 o'clock, I think.
Right, it was 7 when we first got on, and then we changed it back, and we kind of moved around a little bit. And I want to say a couple of the reasons we did that. One, of course, was for city staff. And the second was to encourage more people to come straight from work here without going home and coming back. I don't think we've seen a huge difference in the attendance by changing the time to accommodate people's schedules. And I definitely want to accommodate yours. If I was in the same situation, I'd want to change it. So I'm totally open to changing it whenever. It's just those marathon meetings that are 3 or 4 hours, you know, that'd be rough if we're pushing it later in the evening. But I'm open to either 6 or 6:30. Doesn't matter to me.
I'd like to propose 6 now for the rest of the year and see what happens, and if, you know, it gets bad next year, then we have to look at it.
That'd be fine with me.
So we'll do a consensus, because we set that by resolution. So we'll put that on the next meeting to set it, and then it'll be in effect the next meeting.
So 6 o'clock is probably what we're thinking then.
Fine with me.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, item 16 is council memorandum resolution authorising the city manager to enter into a Iowa Department of Natural Resources treatment agreement with Mary Ann Specialty Foods Incorporated. I guess you've got information there in front of you from tonight. And Pam is here if you needed to ask any, if you needed any more questions. Zach, did you need to say anything on it, or?
I can. So what Mary Ann's is requesting is for the city to submit to the Iowa DNR a new treatment agreement. And the only change, originally they were asking for a change in CBODs and TKNs, but now they're simply asking for flow. Potentially means they can send more of their product down the line. And so they're, I don't remember off the top of my head what they were before, but now they're asking for 80,000, 110,000. So that's really the only change to it. So.
But then even if we had questions for Mary Ann's, it's still based on what the DNR is gonna let us know, so.
Yeah, we're just agreeing to, that
Yeah,
we'll
I
sign
see.
it and send it.
So your business is expanded, that's why you're,
It is.
okay.
If you want to come up and tell them what you've done out there, Pam.
No, well, that's good, that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah, it is. We're opening our new addition that we've been working on for a couple of years, and the city did help support us with a loan on that, which we're paying back. And that is now, in the last 2 weeks, just opening for operations. So initially, we're not gonna have a ton more business. We're hoping we continue to grow with that addition. We have the capacity to grow. And so this added flow is what we're hoping to have to help us as we grow.
Just for my, is that kind of, I mean, the DNR reviews it and,
This agreement? Yeah, so we submitted to the DNR, we actually work with our engineer, Greg Sint. It gets, Pam, I think Pam's already signed it, and if not, we'll get a signature, and then Kent will sign it for the city's behalf. Greg will actually submit it with a letter to DNR requesting that they approve the, not approve, DNR doesn't approve this agreement, they have the right to deny it, to reject it, and if we don't hear anything, then it's essentially approved at that point, so.
okay.
So they have the right to review it. They'll review our plant numbers to make sure that they're sufficient to handle the extra flow and what it's designed for. And then they will, like I said, we'll hear if they reject it, essentially. That's what it is.
No, so,
Greg seems to think that it's fine, doesn't he?
Yeah, Greg was concerned about the other numbers, but not the flow at this point in time, so.
all right, no,
Tim
sounds
have
good
any
to me.
input? I see it says,
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim has been in all the meetings with us, so.
Thanks, Pam.
we need a motion to approve, right?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Did you want to say something, Ken?
My only comment is Pam will sign these 3 originals that we have, and then Kent, you gave Kent the authorization to sign them, and then
Yep.
we'll take care of them tomorrow,
Yep.
so.
Okay.
Seventeen.
17. Okay. Council memorandum motion on request from Community Vitality Director to attend the Community Capital Conference presented by the National Coalition of Community Capital in Detroit, Michigan on June 11th to 14th, 2019. Lindsay?
So any sort of in-state conference, I usually don't have to come to council for permission, but because this is an out-of-state travel request, I'm here to council. So the National Coalition for Community Capital, to put it in their words, I guess, is focused on small local businesses which keep wealth, income, and jobs in local communities. So it's interested in entrepreneurship, capturing local investment, and retaining capital in communities to better serve those who've been isolated and under-resourced. This particular conference has a lot of the speakers are actually people that the university students from the legal department reached out to for their research for me this past semester into local investing and community capital. So it'll be a great opportunity to expand upon the information that they've provided for me and continue to learn about how we can bring this type of strategy for economic development back to Webster City. It's well within my travel budget for the rest of the year, and half of the cost will be reimbursed by Corn Belt's AR fund. So.
Anyone have any questions for Lindsay? Call for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thanks, Lindsay. Item D, reports and recommendations of officers, boards and commissions. Following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, it will be considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 1 is a motion to accept and place on file the City Manager February reports, electric, wastewater, water, electric year-to-date, water year-to-date, code enforcement. Motion to accept and place on file the Police Department February report. Motion to accept and place on file the Fire Department February report. Motion to accept and place on file the Hamilton County Solid Waste Commission March agenda packet.
Move to approve 1 through 4 collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Firework complaints in February.
Anyone else have anything else before we go into closed session? You haven't had any meetings or anything? Item E is closed session. Meet in closed session to discuss the purchase, sale of particular real estate only where premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the price of a government body would have to pay for that property as provided by Chapter 21.5J of the Code of Iowa.
I move to move into closed session.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll be in closed session. We'll have a 5-minute break. Thanks everybody for coming.